Okay, so I have this first line laid out, and what I did is took this brick, this is the broken one, but it's the same width, and referenced it on the blue line at the bottom, and then drew a line right there. That's the top and of the brick, because when you put these up, it's easier to reference it from the top. And then put a screw in there, and then took this nylon line and attached it. Now on the other end there's a screw just like that. It lines up with the top of a brick, because that corner, if you remember, it was already laid out. So that it was laid out the same way, but I don't have to do that down there. And then another thing I'd suggest, like I mentioned, is this is nylon string. It probably stretches a little bit, but it doesn't stretch as much as like cotton or some other type of string. And you need to make it really tight. And what I did is, after getting this strung up, then I just took a tape measure and I referenced from the floor to this string to see that it's all about the same dimension. And it did vary a little bit, because imagine this floor varies a little bit, but when it's all done, the brick, you won't be able to notice that at all. But just to make sure that everything is lined up the way it should be, you can just use that as a guide, and then all you have to do is start putting the brick up, which we will start doing next. Okay, now we're down at the other end of this wall, and you saw this in the first video. This corner, I wrapped the brick around, and the main reason for that is because I wanted to be able to put this corner mortar joint in. But all of the bricks, the top of the bricks are already established down here, like I mentioned before. And so all I did was I just took a screw and screwed it into the top to align with the top of the first course of brick here, and then attached the string to it, and that on the other end it's set up so that establishes that line. You'll also notice that this first brick here, I can't put it on because attach it to the wall because of this screw. It's in the way. So I just set it up here to establish the mortar joint size. And I'm not using any spacers. I just did it approximate. And it's 3/8 of an inch, maybe something like that. And then I put this one on next to it. And you'll see the drywall screws at the bottom. I have them kind of tilted up just slightly, and the liquid nails on the back, I put 3 about quarter size blobs on the back, and stuck it to the wall, and I'd already screwed the screws in, and I'll show you how I did that. But so now I can just continue on, and then when I move the line up, then I'll take that screw out, and then I can put this one remaining brick up and just line it up. It's, you can just do that visually. But what I wanted to show you first is, these drywall screws, they work pretty effectively for this. You can't do that same thing on the outside, but for here it's fine. But what I first started out doing is, so with liquid nails, I put it on the brick the first time, set them in there, and I was going along, and then I noticed there were several bricks that were drooping down, falling down, because liquid nails could not hold it up. So I had these craft sticks or popsicle sticks, and so I put several of these, stacked them up as I needed, and put them in the mortar joint, which there wasn't any mortar in there yet, and that worked okay. But some of them, the backside of them got stuck to the adhesive, and you had to pull them out, and then you could only put you could adjust it by the thickness of this stick. So that wasn't very, it wasn't very good. And then I happened to see these wedges. They're for masonry. And so I bought those, and they worked out all right. They didn't stick, but it just was kind of awkward using them. And then I came up with this, which this hanger is for conduit or plumbing, but it just nails into a board, and then the pipe hangs or conduit hangs that way. But I used it to where I screwed it into the wall and applies pressure to the brick, and that worked really well. The only thing is that as you're working your way up, then if you're going to do 2 or more courses before you take these off, then this whole thing is in the way of the next course. So that wasn't very practical. And so that's when I came upon the idea to just use these drywall screws. It's 1 1/4 inch, and they work out really well. So now I'll go ahead and get the next brick on and show you how I do that. It's pretty simple. Okay, so I take a brick, reference it to the top of the line, get the mortar joint about right, hold it, and get a screw. This is kind of awkward because it's so low to the ground and it's very close to the baseboard. And then get the other one. And do the same thing. And then take it off and get the liquid nails. And I just put 3 blobs on here. Like that. And then you don't have to worry about the line because you got the screws now. And so I get it up against the wall and get the mortar spacing about right. And then I can see here that this is dropped a little bit. Maybe probably when I screwed it in because it's so awkward. Then I'm going to do this over. Move over to another part of the wall. There we go. Just make sure it's against the wall. And then you just keep going down the line and till you get the row completed. And then move the line up to the next top of the brick and repeat. So that's the process. So we'll continue on.